Greetings, everyone. Welcome to World Water Unity Day as we continue, now culminating, or very close to culminating, with the official global launch of the proposal for a World Water Law and World Water Year 2021. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey, an amazing day so far, and we were scheduled to have our beloved Ambassador Musi Hailu from Ethiopia was going to join us live with a blessing, an introduction to the coming panel and the launch. But unfortunately, he has technical difficulties. So we have a brief recording, just a brief message of a Facebook post that he shared a couple days ago endorsing the World Water Law. So without further ado, I will share this brief message, and after that, Dr. Shelley Ostrov will introduce the panel of women leaders who have all gathered together in support of the beautiful birthing of this proposal and this new vision for how we can live in harmony with water and all of life. So over to Ambassador Musi. Here we go.
I will end my message in sharing the news that United Religions Initiative is going to partner on the call of Courts for a Healthy Earth initiative for a World Water Law, as water is the source and sustenance for all life on Earth. The aim of the World Water Law is to ensure that all humans and animals have guaranteed access to the purest possible water as nature intended it. Therefore, I appeal to each and every one of you to support this initiative, as the proposal for a World Water Law invites citizens around the world to call for and commit to working together to ensure that a binding international law is put in place for the immediate and universal protection of all water as a first vital step towards a global cooperation for effective worldwide social and ecological healing. May peace prevail in our mind, in our heart, in our family, in our community, and in our respective countries and throughout the world. May peace prevail on earth.
I'm muted. So, welcome everybody. Sharon, yeah, we can go live now. So welcome everybody to this circle of women leaders, dedicated water guardians who are here today to support the midwifing of the World Water Law and World Water Year 2021 into the world. It's a real privilege to be here with you, and this day has been so filled with many blessings from all over the world. I'm going to introduce shortly what the World Water Law is, and then I'm going to invite the Circle of Women to speak, introduce themselves, and share why they feel that the World Water Law is such an important collective step to take at the moment. So my name is Shelley Ostroff, and I had in the context of another initiative that we've been working on, together with my partner Jan Golding, created Codes for a Healthy Earth. We initiated Codes for a Healthy Earth as a whole system healing framework for thinking how we can begin to reconsider the ways in which we organize ourselves as a species. And the Codes for a Healthy Earth work with the concept that in order to create the dramatic shift that we need at the moment in terms of the healing, the radical healing that we need, we need to put at the focus of our collective experience, of our collective purpose, of our collective governance systems, the protection and cultivation of all of life, the planet and all its inhabitants for generations to come. The World Water Law is the first initiative of Codes for a Healthy Earth. And as life does, this initiative puts water first. We're all birthed from water. Civilizations evolve around water sources. And so as we rebirth ourselves as a civilization at this moment, it feels so accurate to begin with water. And we know that when we begin with water, when we protect water, when we heal water, we actually heal all of life and no one is left behind. And so with the context of the global pandemic, there was a sense that there's a new readiness for something radically new, that we can't solve the problems, we can't create the change from within the old systems that are actually part of the problem. And this new awareness of our interconnectedness and interdependence as a species with all of life is far more prevalent in our collective consciousness at the moment. So the pandemic gave the perfect opportunity to put this idea which has emerged from the collective consciousness right now. It's been very inspired by all the incredible water guardians who have been protecting the waters, often at great risk to themselves, and who have brought that to our collective awareness now. So I'd like to share with you the vision that if we can, as citizens, collectively get behind this one law, just one law, but one law that goes to the root of all things, to the source of all things, we can actually activate a whole system healing response where all parts of the whole are able to heal simultaneously and all parts of the whole do take up their unique role in that healing process. That vision for a world water law, which I'll actually read to you in a moment, invites everybody to become a participant in ensuring that this law is somehow brought into being. Implemented in every aspect of life, from the solutionaries, the sacred water keepers, to those who are in leadership and public positions. We all, educators, media, everybody can take up their unique role. And the World Water Law, we are inviting to be supported by another initiative, which is called World Water Year 2021. So that as we are awakening to the dramatic devastation that we've caused to the planet, we're also awakening to new opportunities for healing. And when we work with holistic healing principles, the healing path is often much simpler than we would imagine. So the idea is that if we have a World Water Year, we can actually build momentum and bring our resources together to support this in ways that are unprecedented. People have been talking about this for years, but now the conditions are right for this to happen. The technology exists, the solution exists, and the will, I think, exists. And as our current systems implode and show that they are incapable of working to change things in a real and coherent and uncompromised way, the citizens are taking more initiative. And this citizen-led initiative, if we all do it simultaneously, can make a difference. And I want to say how grateful I am to all the partners that are co-creating this and coming on board so with such grace, with such generosity, with such creativity. Every day new partners, individuals, organizations are saying yes to this and taking initiatives that, and this is before the public launch, just in terms of the idea being there. Sometimes, as we say, there's a time when an idea has come that it is ready to spread. So this is the idea, this is the essence, the initiative that together we're inviting you to join and to lead in whatever way feels right for you. So I'd like to just read the World Water Law. We, citizens of Earth, call for and commit to working together to ensure that a binding international law is put in place for the immediate and universal protection of all water as the first vital step towards global cooperation for effective, worldwide, social and ecological healing. The World Water Law requires the uncompromising protection and restoration of all natural water sources, watersheds, aquifers, rivers, lakes, wetlands, estuaries, and oceans. The rewilding of ecosystems necessary for the restoration of the planetary water cycle, and the guaranteed free access of humans, all humans, and animals to natural, uncontaminated water. This one law serves as a unifying foundation for all governments and citizens to work together with community-led wisdom and stewardship councils in ways that effectively serve the health and vitality of the whole. This global initiative honors the many water guardians around the world who have dedicated their lives to the protection and reverence of water on behalf of all of life. That simple law, basic common sense, that reminds us of our origins, of where we come from. And it's not coincidental that we are giving voice to this, a group of women, because it does bring in much of the feminine wisdom that has been lacking so much in our current paradigms. And so we go back to the nourishing, nurturing, cleansing, looking after, birthing all of life. We go back to the water and we ask to remember how important it is for all. And I know that so much can be said about this, that diverse perspectives that we have here will give voice to many of the different ways in which this initiative can benefit all of life. And welcome, Sadhviji. Sadhviji has joined us and thank you for making time and for the beautiful blessing that you offered earlier. And thank you also, this is an opportunity for me to thank Ambassador Musi for his beautiful blessing and Kristen for the beautiful song that opened the session. Sadhviji is coming from India, from Paramat Nikatan on the Ganges, and because of the time zone difference, we are going to invite Sadhviji won't be able to stay with us until the end. So Sadhviji, this is the circle where we're just introducing briefly why you believe the World Water Law is so essential right now from the perspective of all the incredible work that you've been doing for so many years in service of water. Thank you.
such a real joy and a real honor to be coming together. Coming together for water is always deeply meaningful, deeply important, but coming together with women for water has a very special sweetness to it. It also has a very special Shakti to it. Shakti is the Sanskrit word for energy, for power, because there really is a very special and very powerful role that women have always played, but need to perhaps reinvigorate ourselves to play again for protection of the earth, for protection of waters, as we're talking about here, but for all of that with regard to Mother Earth and Mother Nature. There's really a very special role for women. So it's a joy, really, to join you all. And for me, I have been in India now for almost 25 years. And since I came, my guru, Puja Swami Chidananda Saraswati ji, has been working for protection of the sacred Ganga River for many, many decades, long before I came. So I came into a world where water was sacred, where the river that flows in front of us was sacred. And every evening we go out and we offer our prayers and we worship and we pray and we chant and we sing. And slowly, as we have come to know more and more about the world situation with regard to water, both the pollution of water as well as the dropping amounts of water. And most recently, as we've come to know, just really terrifying statistics about how by 2040, the world is only going to have half the water we need, and India will get there by 2030. That's basically tomorrow. And we're in a situation where so many of the cities of India we're already seeing are literally on the brink of no water. Exactly a year ago, Chennai, one of the largest cities of India, had no water, was being trucked in, tanked in. And at that point, they were saying that by 2020, where we now are, 21 cities of India would lose their groundwater. So water has become so up, so literally in your face. I mean, it's already in our bodies. It already is our bodies. It already is life. But it has also become so literally in our face. And we are actively engaged in so many different charitable and humanitarian programs of everything ranging from education to women's empowerment to healthcare to so much. And it became really acutely obvious several years ago that water, and particularly the access to water, the access to clean, safe, sufficient water, underlies every single other thing we are doing. And I've started to say things like, if you care about anything, you have to care about water. Because whatever we're committed to, whatever we're working for, without water, it's a moot point. There's no amount of educational opportunity or empowerment that matters at all if we don't have water to drink. There's no type of health care that's valid in terms of actual treatment and healing if there's no water. You can certainly pump people full of all kinds of medicines you want, but if the very water they drink is polluted or there isn't water, none of that is a sustainable form of treatment. And so we're at a position right now where water really is what's up for all of us, whatever we're committed to. And so this is where our Global Interfaith WASH Alliance, WASH of course is water, sanitation, and hygiene, has been really working to harness that power of faith and the power of faith leaders to work for water, to keep it clean, which of course is where the sanitation and hygiene comes in, to end open defecation, to work for people to really have sanitary and hygienic systems, both in their homes as well as in our municipalities, such that not only are people healthy, but such that our ground is clean, our soil is clean, our groundwater is clean, our rivers are clean. And so as we come to the concept of this World Water Law and World Water Year, it's essential. Because as long as those who have the luxury to choose not to take care of water, we're going to plummet into an irreparable destruction of life on Earth. Earth will be fine. We as humans will not be fine. And as we're speaking so much these days, and as so many of us are working around issues of human rights, or rights of all species, or rights of biodiversity, whatever rights we are committed to, we have to get over the idea that those with the luxury or the power to choose somehow also have the right to make choices that remove the very right to life from others on the planet. And that's where we need the World Water Law. We've been speaking for a while here about a water charter, a water charter in the United Nations. And I think that aspects of a water law, a water charter are so important. Because without water, as I began, we come full circle. Without water, nothing else can exist. And so we really need a situation where those with the luxury, those with the power, are compelled to make choices, not only based on what they want, whether it's what they want to eat or wear or drive or how they want to live or buy, but where all of us are really compelled on a moral level, on a human rights level, on a spiritual level, regardless of what spiritual tradition we may be from, to realize our oneness, to realize our unity, where this illusion of separation, this tunnel vision, suddenly no longer becomes okay. So it feels essential that we have the law, and since water's where we are, yeah, let 2021 be the year of water. If in a year we can transform our global relationship to water, we will have transformed refugee crises, conflict, violence, health, gender equality. I mean, you look at all of the sustainable development goals, you look at all of that which ails us today, and almost all of it comes back to issues of water. Or if it doesn't come back yet, it certainly will be there very soon. Conflicts regarding water are going to be the next greatest conflict that we have. And so whatever we can do together to make this a reality, we are ready, we are there, and we are, I don't want to say with you because it's with us, but yes, we are fully present in the usness of bringing this to an important fruition.
Thank you so much, Strategy. Thank you very, very much. What a profound endorsement for the World Water Law and World Water Year 2021. So we'll continue in the circle, and we'll start with Dee.
Blessed love. So much to not say now, because I agree wholeheartedly with everything that my sister has just spoken of. I want to say that in this present moment in my life, there is nothing more important than to work on the law for water and for water protection. For the last 10 years, I've worked to bring in a law to end ecocide and walked thousands of miles around the world to do this. And it's a slow progress. It's a very fundamental and fundamentally important law to be inscribed in the UN through the Rome Statute. And one of the things I've realized is we've been working on this for nearly 40 years. And the most late, great Polly Higgins, who really brought it back up again with huge energetic and left the planet last year, worked tirelessly. And I feel what's happened with that and my love for that law, which is so important, has been superseded by our need now and the fundamental need of nature for us to act in a positive energetic where we focus on the primary action that makes everything else fall into place. And the World Water Law is like the first domino that we need to put in position, and then we press it and the rest will happen. And with the thousands of miles I have on my feet and the places I've spoken, I've run big health companies in India, social businesses, and I've worked as a chair to protect marine diversity and marine protected areas. And what this has taught me is that there is no disconnect. The only thing that's important for us to shift this energetic is to understand that our tears are the same salt mix as the ocean, and the visceral water that moves through the cellular structure of our body acts and reacts in exactly the same way as every other structure on Earth in its water sense. So when we get that, we'll know fundamentally that it's all about water. And so this is a huge year for all of us. And I am honored to be part of this day and to take the World Water Law with me when I walk Portugal next year, and to share it widely and expansively.
Shelley, you're muted.
Go ahead.
So I will pick it up. So Dot Maver here in the United States, and gratitude to all three of my sisters who have spoken now so eloquently and from the heart. And it's the very heart of humanity that is awakening right now. And as we recognize and truly realize unitive consciousness, that we are one human family. I just want to begin with the prayer for water from the Emoto Institute. Water, we thank you. Water, we love you. Water, we respect you. As I'm going to say, we're in the midst of an all systems breakdown on this planet that we all call home, while simultaneously we are experiencing an all systems breakthrough. We know there are solutions to the many, many issues facing us. And as we are now living this turning point, Codes for a Healthy Earth, which is the home of the water law, which will be the first principle expressed by codes, offers us a way through from human-centered governance to eco-centered governance. And for those like me who are a combination of education, community organizing, involved in politics, love the ageless wisdom, there's a deep realization that we must find a way to institutionalize peace and nonviolence. And to do so in an eco-centered system of governance means that we will learn that peace is really all about living in harmonious relationship with self, others, and all life. So the codes offer us this way through. And to begin with the World Water Law is brilliant, as it is the very source of life itself, as has been said so eloquently. And it calls us together to take shared responsibility and shared leadership on this beautiful planet that we all call home. So I want to share just actually two sentences from the codes as the codes embrace this shift of governance on the planet. Codes for a Healthy Earth suggest that the only legitimate purpose of governance and all sectors is to protect and cultivate the health and vitality of the planet and all its inhabitants for generations to come. Given that water is the foundation of our personal and collective health, the codes propose that a primary function of governance is to ensure that all humans and all animals have guaranteed access to pure water as nature intended. So count me in. As we mobilize for the World Water Law, I also look forward to World Water Year 2021. And may we network our networks through the heart, unite our hearts across distance, and come together in beautiful, right relationship as one human family, knowing, as has been said so beautifully, that water is indeed the source of life. Thank you.
I could go next if you wish. Hakisan giday koi dejikaz. Mikinig do dem chiko komanishna bekwe mami wiendao. My name is Grandmother Francine. I'm an Anishinaabe water walker. Since 1999, I've been walking for water, and I live in Canada on unceded Algonquin territory. I'm the founder of the Sekla Sekri Anishinaabe Sacred Circle. In 2018, I was invited by the United Nations to represent the Anishinaabe water walkers. I was invited to talk at the pre-session and to meet with ambassadors from different countries. My message in Geneva was very clear. Water is a prerequisite for all life. And in that capacity, recognition of the right to water is a prerequisite of other human rights. When we walk for water, it's our way of connecting with her. It's our way of asking for forgiveness for all of the world's wrongdoing. It's our way of connecting with her. It's our way to tell her that we love her. And it's our way of giving our thanks. Women, we are the water carriers, and it's our responsibility to take care of the water. The men's responsibility is to protect us while we are doing so. Why do we need a world water law? Well, water is a living, conscious being. We have known for a long time that water is alive. Water can hear us. Water has memory. We must at all costs respect her and recognize her as a living entity. Water is sacred. Our Mother, the Earth, her waters, and all of our relations have multiple interconnections to enable us to live in harmony. Human being, us, we are part of this planetary structure. We, the Anishinaabe people, will defend the rights of our mother and her water. And the time is now to unite from all four directions of Mother Earth and stand together. Every day should be World Water Day. Every day, every year should be World Water Year. Water is life. So I ask that we stand together and let's make that official in 2021 to have that year of the water. That year where we will be given more opportunities to raise awareness and work together and unite. We all know that water is an urgent matter. All that we do to water, we do to ourselves. And for me, that's always been a very strong message that I try to tell people. And I don't know, sometimes I feel that people just don't understand that yet. Everything you do to water, you do to yourself. The world should be declaring a world state of emergency when we talk about water. It's not very complicated to understand. If the ocean die, we die. It's that simple. There's no other way of putting it. On July 28th, 2010, the General Assembly of the United Nations recognized the fundamental rights to water and sanitation. It says, as a human right that is essential for the full enjoyment of life and all human rights. Then on September 30th, 2010, during the 15th session, the Human Rights Council adopted by consensus a resolution that confirmed that the human right to safe drinking water and sanitation is derived from the right to an acceptable standard of living and intimately related to the right to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, as well as the right to life and human dignity. In November of the same year, Canada endorsed the right of Indigenous peoples adopted by the United Nations in 2007, acknowledging the First Nations right related to drinking water and sanitation. Yet, 10 years later, in year 2020, we still have 130 First Nation communities with no access to clean water, right here in Canada. Canada is responsible for almost 9% of the drinking water over the whole earth. Canada should be the leader when it comes to water, and many countries think so. When I spoke to many people in Geneva, everybody was telling me, well, we don't understand, Canada is the leader when it comes to water. I said, well, maybe somewhere in the books, but not in reality. So last night, we had 759 water boiling advisory right here in Canada. 38 communities with do not consume alert. And like I just said, we still have 130 communities without access to drinking water. Of course, I can only speak for my country, but I know this is happening everywhere in the world. This is a disgrace. This is not acceptable. Our spiritual understanding of life leads us to take a political position and work with our Mother Earth and her waters in a way that our spiritual struggle is also a political struggle. It is an opportunity for us to join forces and acquire individual dignity and our rights to a healthy life, meaning having access to clean water and recognizing water as a human right. We share our vision through ceremonies, when we walk for water, when we do water ceremonies, when we gather women all together during full moon ceremonies. It is important to assume the responsibility to defend that vision and to share our knowledge to protect the next 7 generations and to lead the way for the young ones that are already here. So if we are here today, all of us, is because water is our priority. We all have been working hard, and we still do. We must join, and we must insist on the urgency for all government to take concrete actions in order to respect, protect, and implement the World Water Law. I think it is long overdue. I think the time is now. We must do this for all the children and all the ones not yet born. Chimigwech. Thank you very much.
So I think I'll go next. My name is Tessie. I am a youth, climate, and social justice activist living in Ireland, but I'm originally from India. And to me, the importance of water is something that strikes very much at home. In my country of India, over 100 million people are at the front line of the water crisis. Like it was said before, 21 cities will have lost groundwater. This year, 2020, 3 cities are already nearing that date. Chennai, Bangalore, cities that are very close to my home. Cities that depended on groundwater. 40% of the water that is accessible to the people of India are from groundwater. And to imagine that 3 big cities are losing out on that, they don't have that. It really reminds you, as a climate and social justice activist, water is a human right. It is a basic human right that needs to be there. There's a quote that came to mind while I was listening to these inspiring women, and it is that the resources in this world are available for everyone's needs, but not to everyone's greed. I think we need to revert from that mindset that, like it was said before, that we are living in a place where some can choose to deny other people that right to water. And as an activist, I know one of the main reasons that I endorse this water law is protection of water sources. One of the most important things that needs to be said more often is the protection of those water sources. Especially during this COVID, a lot of projects have been pushed forward that are harming these water sources. I remember just, I think 2 weeks ago, me and friends in India had to protest to save a water source that was at harm of being destroyed. And as I was listening, I just remembered that by protecting our water sources, we protect the people of this planet. We protect the biodiversity. We protect this planet. And as a climate activist, protecting water, it branches out into protecting this entire planet. And to think that we're in a position that others have the opportunity, or not even the opportunity, the choice to deny people that right to water, having seen that they waste water without understanding that importance, is not okay. It's not acceptable. And this water law needs to be implemented. It is essential, not just because of how it impacts everyone, not just because of how it touches upon each sustainable development goal, but because it is fair, it is just, and it is right. When sometimes we forget that that is the basic element we need to do something. A lot of these times when people talk about implementing laws and legislation, they talk about external things to try and add bonus points. But the reality is that laws like this, the World Water Law, it is right, it is just, and it is fair. And that is why it is essential. And we cannot afford to wait any longer to implement this. It needs to be a conversation that we have now. Because as a young person, I'm seeing my country being denied of that right to water. I'm seeing countries all over the world having no access to clean water. And water is the source of life. For us to fully enjoy the life we have, it is water. And as a young person, my future is at stake if we don't protect water. The futures of generations to come and the generation right now is at stake if we do not continue to protect our source of water, continue to protect access to water for everyone. Again, I say there is enough resources for everyone's needs in this world, but not everyone's greed. We need to reinforce the mindset that water is the source of life. Water protection comes not only under access to clean water, but protection of water sources. And it is a conversation that needs to happen now. It's not a conversation that can wait. It's a conversation that's been going on for years, but it needs to be highlighted and talked about because there are people, animals, biodiversity out there in this world that don't have access to clean water, and we cannot stay silent at that. So again, thank you for allowing me to speak about this, and for the beautiful speakers. Again, you guys have just reminded me again of what I'm fighting for, and it is my honor to be here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Pookie Lee, and I just want to say thank you so much to all of the beautiful women and how you are bringing the importance of water to the world. I think that the conversation has been happening for a long time now, but now it feels like there's this huge like coming together in a way that we have never done before. We can see it in what's happening in our planet with COVID and with Black Lives Matter. And like, we're starting to realize the power of our ability when we mobilize in one consciousness as holding this vision in our mind, how we can actually move things forward in really powerful ways. And as we're watching this unfold on our global stage, we can see that this also can be present for this water initiative. You know, as I was listening to my divine sisters, something came to me and it was like peace. You know, we say peace on earth, but the reality of it is, in that moment, it came to me that we need to come into peace with the earth, that we are not in a peaceful way with her. Many people don't have the ability to see the life force that she is, to value her as a living being. Water is intelligent, highly intelligent. We carry it in our bodies. Our emotions are a representation, or they show, our emotions come forth from the waters that are within us. So we are water. When we do not respect water, we do not respect ourselves. When we do not respect the mother, we do not respect that which we have come from. And so it's really so important right now to understand our mother is so bountiful in her offering. She provides plenty of clean water for all of her children. However, there are things that are happening on the planet where water is looked at as a commodity, and that it is not. It is a living being. And water has the right to be clean, to be free, to be fully available to all of her children, all of the animals, all of the earth. And we've developed these practices that do not honor the sacredness of water, the blood, the lifeblood of our planet. And so now is the time to come together. Now is the time to unite our visions with one another and come together as a powerful force that can stand and bring awareness, because many do not understand the beauty of this, the sacredness of this. Every drop that is taken into your body supports your next breath. This is our life given to us by our sacred mother. And so it's about coming back to peace, peace with our mother, teaching peace, teaching right relationship with our Mother Earth. And how do we honor and love and respect her? And how do we bring awareness in a way that honors her life and brings people to a point where they can see her beauty, her magnificence, and they can also honor her ability to be free. So I have so much hope. Right now, you know, I have so much hope in what is available to all of us as we unite together and we hold this vision, holding this vision with our hands held tightly together. We will change the way that the world looks at water. We will bring honor back to the waters of this planet. We will come into right sacred union with our mother, because she is calling us all home right now. And so that's the beauty of this moment. This water law is so important for now because of what is happening on the globe, because we can see when people begin to adopt an idea, how quickly it can change things. And another year to focus on world water is powerful, to be bringing all of those conversations into a platform that allows for the entire planet to speak and to build in right relationship with our divine mother. And so I am absolute support of world water law, and I'm absolutely in support of world water year, and I am delighted to be here and to share in this moment in humanity where we all turn away from the ways in which we harm our sacred earth and each other. And I see that as what is happening now. So I'm so grateful for everyone who is here in this conversation. And I'm so grateful for the water which gives me life.
Hello, everyone. Can you see me? My name is Sharon Khan, and I am so grateful to be here with you all. Thank you to everyone who has spoken before me, to everyone who will speak after me. Your words are incredible, and I agree 100% with them, 1,000% with them. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to bring my story to the table and to bring myself to the table here. I am the recruiting director for Waterkeeper Alliance, but this is not just a title and this is not just a job. It is who I am. It's what my life's passion for clean rivers, lakes, and oceans has brought to me. And I have grown with this organization for over 15 years. Waterkeeper Alliance strengthens and grows a global network of grassroots leaders like yourselves, protecting everyone's right to clean water. We currently have more than 350 waterkeeper groups around the world in 48 countries and the state of Palestine, patrolling and protecting more than 2.8 million square miles of watershed, but we still have a long way to go. Waterkeeper groups defend our fundamental human right to drinkable, swimmable, and fishable waters that are safe for fish habitat, using the law, science, education, and communications. I'm also humbled to note that we have recruited many spiritual leaders into our movement, including indigenous peoples and Buddhist monks and nuns. Waterkeeper Alliance and I have similar stories. My story began as a young girl growing up on the Ottawa River in Canada. My dad loved to fish, and we were always out on the water, and I would jump in every chance I got. I am a mermaid. But one day, the fish we caught came out with sores. And then another day, I emerged from the water with a skin rash. And sometimes I would not even go into the water because of the pollution. And I became a fish out of water. Later, as a young adult, I realized that my life's work was to correct this injustice and to take back what was stolen from me and from so many other people around the world. The Waterkeeper movement began in the 1960s on the Hudson River in New York, where I currently live, by a group of fishermen who were losing their livelihoods and health to pollution, but who discovered that they could use an old law from the 1800s to sue polluters and take back the river. They did, and they won time and time again. They advocated for greater water protection laws, including the individual citizen right to enforce them. And here in the US, the Clean Water Act was born in 1972. And out of that, the Waterkeeper model of advocacy was born. And now waterkeeper groups around the world are influencing the global development of environmental laws. But it is not easy. The fight for clean water has grown in intensity around the world. And I invite you to read more at our website at waterkeeper.org. But waterkeepers are brave advocates, and Waterkeeper Alliance makes every effort to ensure the safety of our members. So while waterkeepers advocate for and enforce water laws globally, Spirit has brought us here together to birth a global water law. my life's work could not have brought me to a higher place. And I look forward to working with all of you. Peace.
Hello, I am Dalit. I'm from EcoPeace Middle East, and actually we are one of the water keepers in our region. I'm talking to you from Israel. I am very grateful to be here with this extraordinary group of women. And I'm here because World Water Law speaks to the same principles as the work of EcoPeace. Water is life, and water knows no borders. And it's on these principles that EcoPeace for the past 25 years has brought together environmentalists from Jordan, Palestine, and Israel to protect our shared environment, especially our sources of water. EcoPeace is the only organization in any field that is Israeli, Palestinian, and Jordanians working together. And it's no coincidence that it's water that has brought us together, because as we well understand, water knows no borders. We share a reality of living in the most water-scarce region in the world. Access to water is a daily challenge for many people in our region. And unless we change something fundamentally, it will only get worse. Already Israel, Jordan, and Palestine are overdrawing hundreds of millions of cubic meters of water beyond the capacity of our surface and groundwater to replenish itself. And that, of course, threatens the very viability of our natural water resources and means we're drinking the waters of future generations. We're drinking our children's and our grandchildren's water. But we need to talk not only about the challenges, we need to propose concrete solutions. So in the spirit of World Water Law, we need to transform water from a source of conflict in our region to a cause for cooperation. We need to replace policies that fail to take into account the interdependencies of our shared environment with policies that acknowledge a broader perspective and foster leadership prepared to take the dramatic shifts needed at this time. From our side, this means engaging and amplifying the voices of Palestinian, Jordanian, and Israeli communities, especially young people, demanding urgent actions to secure a water-secure future. Our programs in high schools across Jordan, Palestine, and Israel create awareness about the interconnectedness of our water sources and encourage action among thousands of youth. Through our own programs, as well as powerful initiatives such as the Water Law, we can help people become knowledgeable about the transboundary nature of the water challenges. We can help develop innovative thinking about ways to resolve problems, and we can create active citizens that are ready to make a change. We can create networks of leaders who forge connections across borders to advance water and environment solutions, and all proclaiming the same message. Water has no borders. Water cannot wait, and we need to bring about a change now.
Thank you so much. It's extraordinarily moving to listen to all of you and to hear these diverse voices, because it's like a diamond that shines the same truth, but from different perspectives. And every time I hear someone connect to the World Water Law, I hear a different perspective. And it's extraordinary. It just gives such life to it, because like individual drops of water or crystals of water, we each tell our own story about water, and we come together as an ocean of to really make this happen. So let me just shift view here. I'd like to move on now to just to a discussion around how we actually move this forward, and from the diverse perspectives that have emerged now. Let's dream. We have about 20 minutes to dream into how. And it's open to whoever wishes to speak, to open the conversation. How do we make this happen?
It's interesting. I was reflecting, I'm in Portugal, and I was reflecting on the sacred use of springs here. I live near a mountainous area, and all the elders and people go and help themselves to their drinking water from the springs, and they try and go higher up the mountain because we have the joy of the best water that you can imagine. However, we here also spray more glyphosate than any country in Europe. And this is reflected in the health of the population. And I was reflecting on how do we mobilize global adoption, as this has been a big area of thought for me in my life, how to mobilize people. And I was thinking about the journey with people not smoking and learning how long it took people to get used to the idea that they shouldn't take smoke into their lungs. That was about 30 years, a generation. And we don't really have that time. So we need to act quicker and smarter. And, you know, I was coming back to the point, the circular point I find myself in today, which is the need to really focus on our deep, deep, deep understanding that we are water. And as a number of us have said, whatever we do to water, we do to ourselves. Whatever disrespect we give water, we are giving ourselves. And, you know, as Dalit was just saying, we're drinking the water of the generations who follow us. And Tessie, I loved the fact that you were in one of the wettest countries in the world right now. I, being Irish, sort of resonate with the water that you find yourself in. Yet your homeland is drying out. So how do we mobilize global adoption? My contribution here is, apart from the fact that I will walk personally many thousands of miles to make sure we do and engage with as many people as possible at high and low levels, we need to understand our connection to our internal water system, the fourth phase of water, the way we respond and act with water to our grander. So we have to go in to go out. Not only in our spiritual context, but in our scientific context. So everybody has a point of engagement, because it's not about only understanding that water is alive. For those who don't feel this, they can feel their bodies and they can look at the science and open up the microscopes, and then they'll know. And I think this is where we have to amplify and amplify and amplify.
Dee, I'm going to build on that and say that that is just a prerequisite to being a water keeper, to have that intrinsic knowledge and value for the importance of water in our life. And it's not just what we put in water that affects our bodies, it's what we put in our bodies that affects water. So I think I said a lot earlier, and you know, my contribution here is to help build this global movement. And we have water keepers all over the world. We need more, and we provide the structure and the support and training opportunities so that we can find that path forward to implement, to advocate for and implement and enforce the global water law. We're all working towards the same thing here. So I'd look forward to continuing the discussions with everyone to figure out how we can actually put this into action.
Thank you. Sharon, I just wanted to let you know that I work very closely with the Ottawa River Keepers.
Yay.
Been doing ceremonies with them, and yes.
Superstars.
While there because of the COVID, but I'm in touch with them all the time. I'm a member, so I'm I do things with them. I just wanted to share for us, First Nation, and for other people, it's always about education and how can we move forward. I'm going to share a very quick story. A few years ago, I was in Guadalajara at the astronautical convention, the World Astronautical Convention, and I went there to defend Grandmother Moon. And so there was 82 countries there, and most of the countries had one woman per booth. And on the first day, I was representing the grandmothers, the international grandmothers of the moon dance. And so I had hidden my badge because it said Grandmother Francine, and I just kind of turned around and I went to each booth and I asked every woman if they thought that the moon was part of our ecosystem. And 99% of these women said no. And 99% of these women didn't understand anything that she was related, so connected with Grandmother Moon that, you know, she was one, right? Because we always say that women, we are one with Grandmother Moon, with Mother Earth, and with the water. We are all one. And so I was there for 17 days, and every day I went to see these women. And after about 10 days, the women, they were running after me, telling me, well, do you think it's related that, you know, when it's full moon, I can't sleep? And, you know, they were starting to get it. And I kept in touch with many of them for a long time. And sometimes I drop in a little email. But for me, it's about education and having that patience to repeat and not let go and not give up. And I think together we have something here. We have women from everywhere. And in 2008, we wrote a declaration of hope with many countries and many different nations from the First Nation in Canada and other countries. And I could share that with you later by email. I don't have it in front of me. But we wrote a declaration of hope. And so what we do with it is I bring it with me places I go and I read it to people just to share. And I think that's what we need to do with the World Water Law. We need to each have it with us at all time and read it and repeat it and remind people and asking more people to join us. Anyway, that's how I see it, you know, because sometimes we have these kind of gathering, these kind of meeting, these kind of circle. And once we say goodbye, we say goodbye. And I would feel so sad that it would end today. You know, I think we need to keep in touch and we need to remind people. And the world is on social media now because of the COVID. You know, everything is on our side because we can reach much more people, and more people are at home, and more people are listening. And yeah, so that's just I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah, as I hear you all sharing at this point, I become a pragmatic community activist and organizer suddenly. And I want to sing a song to you, Sister Francine. Never can say goodbye. No, 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 no. I think we are connected now through what we have been through in our lives, and certainly as we say yes to come together as our hearts unite in this moment. So there's a couple of things I would just like to put into the circle. One, Shelley, perhaps you'll speak to us about the petition. And hello, everyone who is watching this. Thank you for being here with us and for taking this in through your own life as water source. And talk to us about what we do with that, how we can sign that, where we can find that, etc. And then secondly, I'd like to invite this circle of sisters, and let's include others who we all know, to have a follow-up gathering where we invite a further conversation, not just among us, but with everyone who is tuning in. And as we build this network, I mean, one thing that has become so obvious through World Unity Week and through Unify and through all of the work by so many wonderful groups and really networks of groups, it's beyond groups working with groups. It's really networking the networks on this planet to become a system of influence in our time to the good. And so I would like to suggest that perhaps Shelley, you and Jan, and with the support of whichever ones of us, count me in, talk to Ben and the others, and let's do a World Water Week to fully introduce and educate and pull together the kinds of trainings and sharings and maybe the constellation work and all of that in a timely fashion in this moment, so that we don't lose touch, so that we don't lose this momentum. Because I agree, Pookie, the time is now. The time is right now. And we've got both feet in this gorgeous astronomical realization of Aquarius in this moment. And straight out of the ageless wisdom, water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty humanity. So let's do this. And I agree, take the water law everywhere, introduce it to city councils and trustees and et cetera at the local levels, because watershed by watershed, we are going to love up our mother in a way in the next year or so that we will turn it around. We'll transform from the inside out.
Oh, Dot, thank you for all of that. I was thinking about, like, it's a really kind of a really big idea to introduce an international water law that would supersede all governments, all countries, and I was like, wow, like just to be in the presence of divine beings who have a vision such as that, right? So many people would say, no, it can't be done, da 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 da. But right here, that is not our conversation. Our conversation is, how can it be done? How can we mobilize this into our planet, into all of the people? Because what we do and the conversation that we're having right now has to do with everyone on the planet. It benefits everyone, everyone. And so I started thinking, like, wow, how do we mobilize this? How do we get this out into the world? And it was like, oh, the reality of it is we all individually create our own law. We create the laws that we abide by and that we live by. And water, we can adopt this water law individually in our own lives and teach this law to our children and teach this law to our family and to our neighbors. And that, I believe, is how it is going to be done. It's going to be from right now, as we're seeing this, from where we stand, we will bring the awareness into a much greater platform, into where it will be visual. So just like, like when the domino effect, like, or the 100th monkey effect or something like, but as it just begins to ripple out and ripple out, as water does so beautifully, and people begin to remember, because water is intelligent. And when we begin to acknowledge the intelligence of water, water will begin to speak to us again. And she will begin to bring us her sacred songs, and bring the wisdom that we need in order to come to her in a way that brings healing. And so I think that it's, yes, World Water Week. I think that is a powerful, like, bringing the attention, the focus to water and to the power of water and to what it is and to the power that we as individuals have to create change in our world for our mother, that we can come back into a state of peace with water and peace with the earth and peace with each other. And so, yes, I believe that it is about bringing back that deep sacred connection to the sacred waters. I do ceremony at the water, and I do it visibly And I do it because I want people to begin to question, what is she doing? And why is she doing that? Why is she here at these waters at sunrise and singing and drumming and chanting? What is it? What is her connection? What is the communication that she's having that I myself am not having? Because I think that there's a whole aspect of our beautiful relatives who have forgotten who they are, and they've forgotten their deep connection with the mother. And I think that COVID was like a really beautiful opportunity. More people are gardening now than ever, and having gardens in their yards, and planting things in their containers, to grow their own food. But more than anything, the mother is calling them back home. And they're coming back in this very gentle, unassuming way, with a little bit of soil, a little bit of the sacred earth, a seed from a plant, from the bosom of the mother. And we take and plant this seed into this soil. And then, in order for this seed to have an opportunity to burst forward, we must come with the sacred water and water that seed held deep within the soil of our mother. And then, held in that darkness, in that dark state, saturated in the overflowing love of water, that seed then begins to erupt and then makes its way, its divine journey through the darkness of the soil to the light of life. And so World Water Week really speaks to me, coming together and having these conversations and bringing the community, bringing those that don't know. There are many that don't even know that there are sacred water keepers and protectors. They don't understand Standing Rock. They don't understand what is happening, because they've never been given the opportunity to see it in a way, or for it to be presented to them in a way that they could fully embrace it. But as we're going to the grocery store and having to pay ridiculous amounts of money for water that's in plastic bottles, that's actually contaminating the sacred source of life that is held within that container, it's time for us to rethink all of this. It's time for us to come back to peace with the earth, peace with the mother, peace with water, and really, from that space of being, really unite our heart and bring the children and bring the mothers to the water. I went with 3 mothers the other day to find water they felt they could put their children in, and they wanted to do water ceremony with their children playing in the water. And I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and we traveled, within an hour of our city, and we could find no clean water. We could find no clean water for the children to sit in, to celebrate that sacred life. So thank you all for hearing my words and receiving me.
Yeah, just to give my contribution to what I've just heard, I think again that the importance of water has been forgotten, and we need to bring that back in. And to mobilize to bring this in, I think education and communication are our biggest tools. Education, in the sense that that's how we change mindsets, that's how we produce change, is educating the future and the present, educating them about the importance of water, the intelligence of water, our connection with water. And that is how we make change this quickly, because it was said by Dee, I think, that, how do we make this rapid change to protect our water sources? And education and communication, I think, play a huge part in it. The way we live now, our stories, they were passed on to us by the generations before us through communication and education. And we need to have this water conversation. We need to pass that on to the generation present and the generations to come. And education and communication are, in my opinion, some of the best ways we can mobilize for that. We need to share our stories, our connections with water, to inspire and educate the future and the present, to realize that, Water is not a commodity. It is the source of life. It runs through us. We live because of it. It's our source of life. It's in us, it's in our world, and it is the flow that we have. And education and communication, I would think, is the best way we can mobilize for that. And I think talks like this, continuing the conversation is one of the best ways we can mass bring that change. And it is needed and it is important. So that would be my contribution on how we can mobilize for the change we need.
I'll briefly just share something. I want to take you to share with you my screen. Oh, I can't share it. But if you go to codes.earth/waterlaw, you'll be able to sign a petition. And this is, it's important, the petition, because as we see more and more people signing the petition and sharing the petition, it's also a way to raise consciousness. If you want to, first of all, I'm so grateful for everything that has been said and the ideas that have come up. And one way to keep in touch is if you also sign the codes for a healthy earth, because that's where we have a newsletter. And if you sign codes, if you endorse the codes for a healthy earth, we can keep in touch and we can share with you how some of these ideas are moving forward. I think the extraordinary convergence of World Unity Week, what it's brought together, and the fact that water orchestrated itself to be in the center of the week in a clear stream, speaking this to the world, it feels that it's not only what we're doing, what we can do, but it's being open to listening to how to use situations that exist in order to serve water. So when Unity Week came up and we put forward the idea of having a day for water and where we can bring this law into the proposal for the law into consciousness, I want to express my immense gratitude to Ben Bowler and the World Unity Week organization for really allowing this to happen. It's a true blessing. And I think that there may have been one or two, Tess, Dalit, do you want to say anything briefly? And then we've got a special surprise because we've got Pookie who's going to sing a song to us, and I'd like to leave time for that as well, and then time for a brief blessing at the end. So if there's anything else, anyone that didn't speak in the second round that wants to say something, please go ahead. Okay, so Pookie, are you ready to offer us your song?
One moment, I'm getting my accompanist.
Okay.
Coming down. Yes, I just called him and said, "Okay, come on down." He was, yes. So what a delight to be with all of you. Just to connect in a way. Yeah.
Maybe you'll say also, well, just a word about the song and how. Yeah.
So. So Shelley, in our early conversation with World Water Day, she said, "Pookie, I have a poem that I wrote, and I'm just curious. I don't know. Can you put music to this?" And I said, "Well, I think I can." So she sent me the lyrics, and what I did was I looked at it on my computer, and I saw the words, and I just dropped into water and asking water how it wanted to be, how it wanted to speak through these words. And so the song, The Water, flowed really quickly and very immediately, came forth. And so emerged this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. So I think my music has.
I would add that this is a song that is dedicated to the world water law and to this moment in time.
Yes.
Community around water. So
Yeah.
really to be present today in this for the first time in public with Puki singing it.
It is such an honor. I am water. You are water. We are water. We are one. Rising with the tide, we gather to protect our fluid source, birthing, nourishing, cleansing, healing, nature's loving sacred force. I am water. You are water. We are water. We are one. Endless drops of loving living. For all life we now unite. Serving, listening, learning, giving, honoring the liquid light. I am water. You are water. We are water. We are one. Let us heal our loving source, honoring her loving force. We rise together with the tide. Water's law now must preside. I am water. You are water. We are water. We are one. With all of life, we now unite, honoring the liquid light. We are water.
So thank you so much, Puki, for this beautiful, beautiful blessing, this beautiful gift. And thank you, everybody, for this exquisite moment. I feel too emotional almost to talk right now, and I'm going to actually hand it over to Dee, because right now where we're going is we're going to have in 15 minutes, there's going to be a session which invites a continuation of the conversation. So if you have a moment, Dee, to invite, and please consider, if you do want to just to stay in touch and hear about how this evolves. If you endorse the codes, we'll be able to send the newsletters around all of these initiatives. Blessings to everybody that was here. Blessings to this extraordinary, extraordinary group of women who have just articulated in ways that are so moving and wise and deep and broad, everything about the water law that feels it wants to be expressed in this moment. Thank you. So Dee, would you like to say something?
Shirley. So now we move forward to an open space for the next couple of hours, which starts in 15 minutes. And we are asking the question, what are the diverse ways we can support the global adoption and implementation of the water law, of the world water law? So we know that it's evolving. We know we're no longer taking the normal forms. Some of the normal forms will be followed, some of them will not be followed. And this is a moment for us to discuss this. We have a number of already hosts who have put themselves forward to hold extraordinary conversations. And as you all know, those of you who are familiar with open space, it's a time of great egalitarian conversation, discussion, and harvesting. And it's really an important time to gather what you feel is rising in you so that we grasp it and hold it and bring it forward with us. And not only will you receive newsletters, but you will receive conversation, requests, excitement, delight, and all your knowledge will be needed to make this so. So please join us in 15 minutes, and that would be perfect.
Thank you. So as we begin to end, let's take a moment of silence to just bless what has been birthed here in this incredible field held by so many across the world who are also holding sacred ceremony for waters today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for loving the waters into their healing. And I give thanks for being a part of this. And we can, in this moment, imagine the world that we strive for, the world where a world of pristine water, where all humans and all animals and all beings have access to pure, natural, uncontaminated water as nature intended. And feeling the force field of this intention, this consciousness grow. On the shoulders of all of those who have really come before us to show the way. We unite to take action with deep gratitude. We can begin to open our eyes and take this forth into the world. Thank you.